Let me begin this press conference by very briefly thanking all of my friends throughout the city who, by their support, by their prayers, and by their confidence in me and in our legal system, have enabled us to move ahead through the last 3 months, continuing the business of the city, helping us to continue our growth and development, and hopefully now we're ready to move on even faster. I was really pleased that after a complete and thorough investigation, the U.S. Attorney's Office found that there was nothing that we could be indicted for. That's really a testimony to our judicial system. It does work. It takes a while. It's a long and agonizing process. But with the help of some very fine attorneys, I think that the system has worked and has worked well. The one thing I think we've got to get about now is a healing process. And that healing process, which enables us to communicate with each other, which enables us to resolve some of the administrative and some of the personal problems that still affect our city and that need to be resolved so that we can move on and keep this city doing very well. I think I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my friends. The thing that's hurt me most, though, is to be associated with drug use. For at no time in my life have I used drugs, and it's one of the things that I've been most concerned about, most concerned in terms of the message that we send our young people. I don't want any of them to think that in circles of this administration that any kind of drug use is acceptable or permissible or even tolerated. That we are about the business of making this a great city and about the business of continuing the work of downtown housing, of underground. I was very pleased that the very first call I got, even before the U.S. Attorney's Office was through with their press conference, was a call from Paul Kirk in the Democratic National Convention saying that they had never for a moment doubted or questioned their choice of Atlanta as a convention city, and that they were expecting to come on into Atlanta and elect the next president of the United States. And so I'm very pleased that we've been able to move along as well as possible. I think a certain amount of healing is in order, though. And I would urge the media, and I would urge the business community that has worked very closely with me through this, I would urge concerned black clergy not to get about the business of vindication or recriminations, but let's see if we can't pull our community together and move on as the great city that we know we are. Thank you very much. I'm in charge. I've always been in charge. Nothing has changed in that. This city hasn't missed a beat in the last 3 months. And I don't think that you're talking to the same offices I'm talking to. I don't think our offices are discouraged. In fact, I was present at the swearing in of about 30 new police officers that were excited about their assignments to downtown Atlanta, and that we have as large a recruiting classes as we've ever had. And I don't know that we have any problems with law enforcement that time and our working together won't cure.
Mayor, are you discouraged by the U.S. Attorney's statement? Could it have been stronger? Saying there's not enough evidence to indict you is not quite the same as saying you did nothing wrong.
Well, let me say that in our society, you're innocent until proven guilty. And what he said was he didn't have enough evidence to prove me guilty, and that's innocent enough for me.
Hey.
One of the difficult things about this is that I have not been able to talk to Julian Bond during this entire process. In fact, the whole issue became my conversations with my friends about what I perceive to be problems. I hope now that we can begin to talk to each other, and as far as I know, I have never been aware of any problem as far as Julian is concerned. He has never talked with me about a problem. I'll leave that to Julian.
Mr. Mayor, in hindsight, next time you're inclined to make a phone call to a friend,
I hope I won't. And I hope the other citizens of our city won't. I think one of the... that makes Atlanta a great city is that we are a caring city.
Yes.
And we should never be so concerned about anything that we stop caring for each other. I think that had I not been the mayor, it might not have been if it had not been for a whole series of circumstances, then this would not have occurred. So I hope we don't stop caring, we don't stop expressing our concern for one another in need. And I'm really grateful to all of those citizens who called me during this whole crisis to express their support. And it made a big difference to know that the citizens of the community, many of them whom I did not know, did not ever believe that I was guilty of any wrongdoing.
Is this unfortunate episode in any way tainted you politically or Atlanta itself, Atlanta's in here?
I don't think you can be tainted for doing what's right. And I think that's the way I interpret the findings of the grand jury. I frankly was very impressed with the grand jury. I was frankly a little nervous about a grand jury that was, out of 23 people, only one was black. Most of them were not from the city of Atlanta. I expected it to be a more hostile experience. I'd say that the grand jury really vindicated my confidence in the citizens of the Northern District of Georgia. And I really believe that that my response from them was one of justice and understanding, and I'm grateful for them for their service to our judicial process. But let me go on and let me ask Dean Duffy, who was also involved in this, ask Gene and Noreen if they would come up.
Investigation has found that the mayor nor myself was guilty of any
Jeff Bogart and Arnell Goldwyn Gregory, 527. Thank you very much.
Gene, what did you learn from the whole process today?
I'm not certain if it's too early to examine it and say what lessons are in. I have maintained some sense of faith in the jurisprudence and of the grand jury. And I think the lessons that we learned both for myself and for city government are slowly unfolding. So I'm not prepared to say exactly what lessons I've learned. I think by the decision today by the grand jury, it's indicated that we did nothing wrong. There may be some lessons to learn, but clearly the fact is that we have done nothing wrong.
Gene, what about the political end down the road? Do you see yourself in managing Julian Bond's campaign?
I can't predict what the future will hold for me. I can't predict whatever campaigns I've been involved in or what my next job will be or whatever that will be. Whatever I do will be above board, will be ethical, will be honest, will be about helping the poor, helping the homeless, and making a contribution to society. But what my career plans in and whose campaign I work in, only Lord knows that.
Duffy, has this hurt your work here at City Hall? And has this hurt your work here at City Hall? And will you be continuing as
You know what happened when I work here? Calls are still returned, my memos are still answered, I still get yelled at by Shirley Franklin and the mayor. We look forward to running a good city.
Are you going to seek any more in?
Profile now. Will you take a lower profile on anything?
You all determine my profile. I haven't tried to maintain a high profile. You all made me a high profile figure.
Have you
So I
talked-
suspect that I'll be a lower profile from here on out.
Have you talked to Julian Bond this morning?